Today we are continuing the build of the USMC AH-1W Super Cobra by Academy, a 1/35th scale. Welcome to my stream. This is actually part 2 of the build. To recap from last time, we got the cockpit pieces all together, with the seats in and the dials all painted up and everything. That is finished and ready to go. Now I had to do some painting on the fuselage, both halves, and unfortunately I didn't get to paint it the actual color that I want. I wanted to paint this in the light ghost gray, and unfortunately my light ghost gray had run out, and apparently the various suppliers of the Tamiya spray paints are having troubles getting supply from Japan right now. And I've been told that by the hobby store that I go to, that they've been told it might be as much as 3 months on back order. And well, I don't want to have this thing sitting in pieces for 3 months. So I chose another gray. It's not anywhere near the same, but I went with the AS2 light gray by Tamiya. Totally different gray than the light ghost gray, that's for sure, but it is a light gray. For the darker gray on it, you can probably see it a little bit on the camera there, especially up here. That is just medium gray by Tamiya. That is AS28. So it goes along the top here, it goes along the top of the engine, and it goes just along the top of the tail and goes up like that, and then on the very tip here too. And so once you get the canopy on there, the various bars are going to be that same darker gray. So it looks like today I've got some painting of the smaller pieces that need to be done. The interior, they wanted a dark gray, so that's what I've done. I've sprayed a dark gray in there. But these two pieces here, they want those to be black. And then when I put it together, they want inside here to be yellow, and they want the inside of this to be yellow here too, this section, just inside there. But I don't think I'm going to bother with that, because once it's together, I have to put this piece inside. Now this is actually 2 halves, and what they've done is I've put a piece of steel inside this thing to give it some weight, so that it will weigh down on the nose. I think this goes like this. It just sits inside there, like that. So it gives it some weight on the nose, so that the thing doesn't sit on its tail rotor when it's just sitting down. But what I have the option of doing is leaving these panels open, right? So you can see the inside, but I don't want to do that. I want the panels closed. And so because I'm going to be putting the panels on there to close it up, I don't see any reason why I need to paint the inside. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a waste of time. Other than, oh, I know I painted the inside, and you know what, 6 months from now I'll forget that I've done that, so who cares? So yeah, so that's that. We've got some painting to do. I've got to paint the guns, the cannon barrels for the front gun. Yeah, so I'm going to get started on that, painting some of this stuff up. I think what I want to do is I got to get my little water container so I can clean my brush, so I don't have to keep just running back and forth to the bathroom. So I'll be back in a moment, and we will continue. some water. Speaking of water, I was thinking earlier about when I'm going to be able to do part 3 on this. I was thinking ahead of what my schedule is like. So I was thinking I'm not going to have time tomorrow. But I should be able to continue on Friday after work. So, yeah, so I'll put up the schedule for my next stream for Friday. And Saturday. Saturday's a big day for me because I'm getting my immunization shot for COVID. So that should be fun. It's always fun getting a shot, isn't it? Not getting a shot, but getting a shot. Yes, Joel, I'm back. And so are you. There we go. Those 2 pieces are black now, just like they asked. I'll do these ones. There we go. So those are done. I'll let those dry. While I'm waiting for those, anything else I need to do black? Oh yes, I needed to do this clear piece here from last time. I want the sides of it black. It's just where it mounts. There. And so they want on that. Anything else black that I'm going to be doing? That's black. That's black. Black and black. That's gunmetal. Okay. So that's it for the black. So another option that they were giving me is I could assemble this with the engine exposed on one side. Just could have the panels open. I'll show you right there. So I have the option of leaving the panels open, put the engine in there, and then later on just leave that panel open right there, and then the engine would be exposed on that side. I opted to not to do that. I don't want the panels open. I just think it's a cleaner look. I don't want it permanently poised in a situation where it looks like the helicopter's just being worked on or something like that, right? I'd rather have it displayed in a way where it's like, I don't know, like it's flight ready kind of thing, ready to go at a moment's notice, where they don't have to close up all the panels everywhere on it if they needed to, you know, the little army men. Yeah, so anyway, I put the panel on closed, so both sides are the same. They didn't have the option on the other side. It has to stay closed. They molded it actually like that. So even if I wanted to have both sides open, I only have one engine, and even on the inside, they've molded them differently. Put that big square spot there where the engine would go, and they didn't do it. It's just hollow on that one. So that's that. So I gotta get the gun, and it is on C. I need C 3, 4, and 37. Here's C. Here's C 3, 4, and 37. There's 4, 3, okay. And 37. 37. Oh, that little guy there. Okay. I think I'll do one coat first with them just on the sprue here. And I'll take them off and assemble them, and then I'll touch up any paint that I need to touch up. So I want some gunmetal, which I have right here, and my little thing. While I'm at it, I'll paint the engine exhaust. Since they're going to be the same color anyway. All right. I think these are definitely going to need 2 coats to get full coverage on them. But that's all right. That's why I'm going to let this coat dry, then assemble them, and then I'll do the second coat. It's those two. Where's that other little piece? This piece is going to slide over the 3 barrels, and I'm speculating it's going to be a tight fit. It's going to threaten to break the barrels, but I'm hoping it will be okay. could have just spray painted these two pieces. Would definitely cover a lot more of the uniform coat, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. It's fine, it's fine. I need more than one coat on these two as well. Actually, for the second coat, I might just spray paint it. Just because it's a little easier. And it's quicker, and it's just, you know, done. Let it sit. A lot less time consuming. One. It's done. There we go. So those are done. Still a bit tacky, so I will have to wait a few more minutes for that to dry. So in the meantime, I'm going to do the main rotor connection, drive shaft, I don't know what you call it. They want that silver. So where is that one? That is B14. This is B14, that's this guy here. Oh no, I just painted it gunmetal. Didn't I say I wanted it silver? Yes, I did. But I want a coat of paint under the silver to give it some contrast. So that's why I did this. So I'm going to put the silver right over top of it. In the meantime, I need to clean this thing off. Get my silver. Okay, I'm going to check something real quick here. Okay. Good to go. Where was I? Okay. basically, the reason I did this, put that dark color underneath the silver, was if there's any spots that the silver doesn't cover completely, it's going to have a dark tone underneath of it. And I'd rather have a dark tone than a light tone. I mean, I could make sure that I've got 100% coverage on the silver, but it's not completely necessary. I mean, it's silver, it looks like silver, and there you go. But in the event that I somehow didn't get all the silver on there, or didn't cover completely, I would rather have like a dark shadow underneath of it rather than light, right? And it makes it look better. I think I've got more silver to do, but just not yet. I've done the dark gray, I've done the silver and the black. That is iron. Anything in the immediate. B27, yeah, I've got some more silver here. B27 needs to be silver. That's on this one. B27. There's 22, 19, 20, 21, 8, 9, 27. It's right there. Some kind of a, almost looks like a little tiny radar dish. Kind of. Yeah. Of some sort, anyway. And then, what else do we have? B17 and 18 are silver. These two guys. Anything else? Let's see. You want the tip of that. What number is that? C32. C32. Okay, is that it? Yes, C32 will be my last silver piece. But they just want the tip of it. C32. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. That's done. Done with the silver. It doesn't want to go back on. There we go. Okay. Clean my brush. All right. Now the gun turrets should be dry enough that I can take them off of here. And they're still a tiny bit tacky, but that's okay because I've got to repaint them anyway, right? Here's the barrels. And then we got this little guy that goes on, slides over top of them. he is going to threaten to fly away. I probably should have painted that one after I put it on. So now I have to clean it up, and I'm probably going to have to enlarge the holes as they go over the barrels. At least that's what I'm anticipating anyway. It looks like the holes they put in it are pretty small. There we go. Okay, so how do these go together? So I've got C30. I need to put the barrels in. Is that 30? Yes, it is. So they go in this to this. I could have tried grabbing that before it hit the floor instead of just watching it fall down like a moron. Okay, let's see here. It's got to come off. The lyrics of this song really get me. It's just kind of whispering, and then all of a sudden there's this, "Where's Gary?" Like, I don't know where Gary is. He's not here. Okay. But before I do anything with this one, I should repaint the two spots where the sprue is connected, because it leaves a little bit of a lighter color and it doesn't look good. So I should just hit it real quick with a little spurt. I get to use my new alligator clips. Bingo! Let's see, I gotta set up my table. Forward. Okay, like great. There we go. Good enough. That's all I needed. Now I'm going to just set that here, let that dry, while I put these other pieces together. Let's see what I need to do. It's going to go like this. And then this guy goes like that. Right? No, other way. Good thing I didn't glue it. That was a doit fit. Doit like a doiger. So that's how it's going to go. It goes on like that. And then these, I just kind of go in there. That's stupid. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing on there. Yeah, ain't no way that's going to do that. So I am going to get my little drill. Not drill, well, my little handheld. Where is it? Yes, that guy. I want to choose a bit that is the same size. That's a little bit bigger. So I'm not going to use that. Let's see. That one looks pretty close. We might have a winner with this one. Okay. So close. It's definitely needed to be drilled out, but not that much. Still doesn't want to go. I think what I'm going to do, maybe taking some of the paint off the tip. Could just be the paint stopping it from going through. Let's try that. Yep. There you go. It just sits on the tip. Just like that. It doesn't go any further. Yeah, that's all it does. Okay, that's that. What about you two? Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's get a little bit of glue on there. Get that glued together. Oh, I got it the wrong way around. There. I had it upside down. Oops. That would have been no good. There. glue in the third hole. Barrel. Perfect. The 3 barrels are assembled. Oh, so delicately. Hard to see my dark shirt there. So, let that glue dry. And then I can put the other coat of paint on. Okay, let's put these away. It's kind of funny, these little drill bits, you know, it's one of those tools that sits in your drawer and doesn't get used for months. But then when you need it, it's the handiest thing. So I could have easily just taken my knife and just put the tip of the blade into the holes and just, you know, gone just into the hole and then just turn like that and just kind of score it on each side to make the holes bigger. But you know, you run the risk of going a little too far, and then you, because of how fragile that little piece is, you wind up making the hole too big, and then the edge breaks apart on you. And well, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, this has a special notch on it for some reason. Don't know why. How are you? You're nice and dry. Thank you. This goes on there. This goes over top. So I'm supposed to glue it, but it's a freaking tight fit. I'm going to do that with this. I don't know if it's the paint doing that to this thing, making it so tight. I don't know. We'll throw some glue on there and we'll see how it fits. A tight fit, that's for sure. And then the glue wants to solidify right away. Okay, that's it. If I need to adjust that, it's going to take more than what I've got. All that just to find out it just fits really snug in there. I could have just glued this piece in instead of farting around with it. But whatever. So I will put some glue on there. Glue that down. I thought maybe they would allow for some up and down movement on the turret, but apparently no. Apparently not. So there we go, that's together. Now, turrets. What are they? Let's see. So what they've done is inside here they've got, it's not just flat, it's actually, it's stepped like this. I guess so that when you put the turrets in there, in order for them to sit flush, they're going to sit up like that because of the little step in here. So they'll sit like this instead of just straight. It's kind of a neat idea. I don't know if it's what I would do if I was making this, but that's what they've done. That's that. Yeah, it's just a slightly raised, well, not raised now because of the angle I have it at, but I have to leave it like this while the glue sets a little bit. I could do it a little bit further, see? Yeah, but I still need to kind of leave it in this position so that the glue will set. So what I will do is I will put it between a couple of paints. Where can I sit it? That one, which you can only see on this camera. Now that can sit for a few minutes and dry until I'm ready to knock it around. Okay, more painting. I need to do the yellow at the base of the main rotor. Before I put the two halves together. And then I can glue the cockpit into one side. Just to get ready. Okay, so we did the yellow. Got my yellow. Like I said, I gotta get in there, the top in there, and paint that yellow. A nagging cough that doesn't want to go away. I didn't even hear that shaking at all. Just barely. I think it's gotten really thick over the years. Yeah. That's okay. It still works. It covers good. That's all that matters. Well, even doesn't cover all that good. Gonna need a couple of coats, that's for sure, because that don't look too good. At least not to the natural eye. Might look okay on the camera. That stupid F-14 the Mavericks F-14 from the movie Top Gun, the way that turned out, it looked okay like in the video. If you watch the video on YouTube, see it looks kind of okay. But I took a picture of it, took a couple of pictures of it, and posted. I got them on my Instagram, and just so you can see how terrible of a job, just how bad it turned out. You can really see all the blotches in the paint. And, you know, if I hadn't put the decals on, I could have just resprayed the whole thing and kind of start over. But I had already done the decals, and I put, you know, I had sprayed the flat clear over top of them to seal them on. And I thought I was doing a good thing by doing that. But the black wash just soaked right into that flat clear, and I couldn't clean it off. And that really sucks. Because the model, other than that, the finished product was looking pretty good until I did that wash, and that's really what sucked. And yeah, I didn't like having to get rid of it, but I did, and that's okay. Okay, so I think I'm going to do my second coat on these two guys here, but I'm going to spray them. I'm just going to spray paint them to get a nice even coat on them. And so I'm going to dig that paint out. Where is my gunmetal? Yes. No, that's fine. Oh, there it is. This is actually light gunmetal. I want my normal gunmetal. I hope I didn't use up my normal gunmetal. I have to take a look in my storage cabinet. Okay, I'm back. Now, where was I here? All right, gunmetal. Now I want to not spray the other pieces, so I'll use this little guy that I made last week, just to ensure I don't accidentally spray pieces that I don't want to spray right now. coverage is a lot smoother. The camera doesn't really show it all that well. A little bit better there. It's a lot more of a uniform coat. And in a sense, it's better because the spray, I'm not putting on such a thick coat as if I go 2 coats, 3 coats with the brush, right? So I like when I have the opportunity just to spray paint the pieces. I try to take that advantage of that whenever I can. With the yellow, yeah, it'd be nice to just kind of mask off with a little bit there and then go done. But I don't have bright yellow spray paint, so. And just to do a little one-shot piece like that, it's not worth spending the $14 on a little can of paint, right? So, yeah. So I put 2 or 3 coats on this with the brush. There you go. It's in a small little spot that I'm not really gonna see very well once it's all together and the pieces are in. Unfortunately, if I wanted to get rid of the brush strokes, I'd have to put the coats on. I'd have to actually thin the paint out. And even then, you're going to see the brush strokes. But there isn't too much I can do about that. Nature of the beast when you're painting a bright color like this with a brush. I remember when I was younger, I had a 1/24 scale die-cast model of a Ferrari, and it was cast in red. It was a factory color, and it just came that, and it wasn't like a model you assemble. It was all just a die-cast model that was complete. I didn't want after having it for about a year or so, I didn't want it red anymore. I wanted it black. And so at the time, I took I had Testors model paints back then, and I just took that black Testors paint and I painted a super thick coat all over it so that you couldn't see any of the brush strokes left behind by it. But the paint was so thick it just didn't look like crap. But there were no brush strokes. Okay, so this is probably dry enough. I can show you. So that's going to be sitting level, but as you might be able to see, it's angled up just a little bit, right? So that's going to sit like this on here, something like that. And so you can see it is angled up just ever so slightly. And although I don't have the option, I can't position it up and down like this. Assuming I don't put too much glue in there, I will be able to rotate it like this. That was always the trick when I was a kid, putting the pieces in like this and accidentally putting too much glue and letting it sit to dry and then coming back and going, oh, it's glued solid now. And then it'd be like, screw you, and I break it. It's supposed to turn. Anyway, okay, so let's take this side. I think we're just about ready to start assembly of the two halves. So we need the two sides. We need the cockpit. Now this edge here goes into that little groove. Switch it here. So somewhere like this. Should notch in there. Glue it on that edge, and I can put some glue up top there, and that should hold it in fine. Okay, so do that now. Okay. Just like that. Any other place I can make sure it stays. And there. Maybe at the front. Okay. Don't want to move it too much. Just want to let it sit. Okay, so I'm going to put it over here so I don't miss the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes. In the meantime, I can get a couple of pieces ready. The wing for the tail, right there, and the main rotor blade shaft thing. Okay, and his counterpart, B-22. This guy. There. What else? What else? C-28, the counterpart for the turret. All right. Clean those up a little bit. Putting my glasses on, well, it's not going to help me do that. Essentially came out all right. Good. So I'm not sure what they want me to do. So the turret has to go under there, and then that piece goes on top. So should I do it like that and then glue it on? That is a tight fit on there. So go one way. It goes no way. Well, so what it's actually too big for any of my little drill bits. So I'm just going to have to do this. Just to slightly carve out that hole until it slides over that shaft. There we go, perfect. So I guess what I'll do is see how far it goes on, then take it off of there. And now glue it. As you can see, there's that little gap. Right there. Fingers in the way. There. See that gap? That's where it needs to be glued. So if I just touch it with the glue, it should keep it on there. Should be able to just slide it right back on there. It actually looks like it won't go down farther now that I look at it closely. I could be wrong. So there it is. I'm going to leave it like that. Let that sit. This guy goes in the back here, and it goes a certain way. It goes like this. Doink. All the way. Yes, it does. I could just glue it like that, but which angle do I glue it at? I think I'll just leave it loose, because the other side will come up right on top of it and hold it in the right position. Or when I'm ready to put the side together, I will glue it, slide that side down on it, and it'll be glued to the other side. That'll be the ticket. This guy. So he goes through here. Goes all the way down. That's a long shaft. My helicopter's got a long shaft. And then this goes on the bottom. Once again, it's super freaking tight. And it could go flush, but I don't want it to go flush, because it's not a toilet. Tight. That's pretty tight. I think that might be okay just to like that. That's a pretty tight fit. Do I want it a little bit loose? Do that. sides are... Yeah, that's a bit better, right? It's got a bit of a gap there, it can wobble. I don't know if I want it to wobble though. I think it's going to be a trick finding that sweet spot. Well, that's tight, but there's not really any wobble. I think right there is perfect. Okay, so that is where I'm going to glue it. That has been glued. Okay, what else? That's it. Assuming that cockpit is dry, or dry enough, we're about ready to put the two halves together. This guy goes in there. And this guy goes up here. And we are ready. See how this is. Do the test. It stays. Okay, so I'm going to have to get my tape ready. So I know I'm going to need a few pieces of this. I was test fitting this before when I was trying to line up my two different tones of paint, because the camera doesn't really show it very well. This is darker and it comes along here and then it comes up and it just goes on just on that little back edge, cuts over to there and then continues on, right? But so I had it together so that I could make sure this darker edge here was the same on both sides coming down, so it wouldn't look cockeyed or whatever. But in test fitting, there's a little knob on the very tip of the tail that goes into that slot, and it holds pretty firm, so that almost is going to keep it a pressed fit together and keep it together pretty well. Now let's get some glue going here. Sure this is in all the way. Let's put some glue on this. There. A few places I can get a little bit sloppy with the glue and it'll be fine. And a few other places I can't really. Okay. Oh, that fit together nicely. That is such a rare thing. Wow. I've got to fix that. I got a streak of black marker on my tail fin. Places that it's almost to come apart, but for the most part, it's held together very nicely. Very nicely. Always kind of the big thing when it comes to building the model planes and stuff. You always have the two halves that are going to come together, and that's like the big moment. It's getting it together and having it fit properly. Or at least that's what you always hope, right? Because you can test fit it 7 ways till Sunday. Once you put the glue on, that's the big moment, right? That's the make or break. I don't know if you can see. It looks like, it might look on the camera like I got a big gap right there on the line, but that's not a gap. That's actually a Sharpie pen. When I was masking it, there's one failure. I gotta put some glue on there and get that to go together. When I was getting masking tape, I was doing a template, and I was using a Sharpie, and I was drawing on the template, and I guess I inadvertently drew on the actual thing after I had painted it. I don't know how, but I did. So I need tape. I'm actually very impressed on how easy that went together without really any hiccups at all. Okay, let's hope that holds nice. Should be okay. Oh, here. Okay, there we go. And the tail fin, things are looking good. Yeah, it did all right. And this guy is a little loose, but he ain't going nowhere. And the rotor is good. Once I get the big blades on there, it'll probably spin a lot easier. And if I do have any issues, I could probably spray in a little bit of WD-40 or something, just to add a little bit of greasiness to it. I do wish that was a little more solid. I don't know if you can see the gap on the camera there. Or it's just a little bit wiggly, but that's okay, I guess. not the end of the world. Okay, that part is done. That's got to dry. We're looking good so far. So far, no thoughts of throwing it out the window. Not that I'd do that or anything. But, what's next? I've got a couple of little pieces here they want me to put right in the front. Kind of tuck them in under there. All from the C sprue. Let's just put you down over here. Hey, don't be like that. Is this C? Yes. So I need that. So you can go here. There we go. Okay. What do we need? C. 13, 14, 15, and F4. F is the clear. F4. This rectangular one. Okay, C. 13, 14, 15. That's these guys. Oh, it's like the sensor, camera, range slash radar slash whatever thing. That thing. Oh, and they want the clear piece to go on that. They don't tell me, you know, I've seen pictures of this and this thing has got black on it. So I'm pretty sure that I have to paint it. Paint in there black. So I think I'm going to have to assemble it. Oh no, I got to put it on there. I have to assemble the two halves on the helicopter. Because once they're assembled, I won't be able to that's weird. It's like, where did that go? I just, there it is. This thing goes on here, but it goes just some kind of weird antenna sticking up. Just going in the middle or on the edge. Looks like it goes on the edge. Okay, well, if that's what they want, that's what they want. I may not be gluing that piece on after all. Oh, found it. Okay, let's try this again. Now I got glue on it, I better not drop it. It's one of those things that they don't put any kind of marking or any kind of a little indent or anything to guide you on exactly where to put it. Because that's how it goes. Right? And it's kind of hard to know exactly where that's supposed to really sit on there. It just, I'm guessing. I might be able to take the take the tape off of the nose piece, or at least back it off a little bit, so I can see how that's going to sit. So it sits like that. Yeah, that's okay. So like I said, I gotta glue it and just press it on there, because you got the two knobs to keep it on there, and that's it, right? So I'm going to have an easier time painting this before I glue it on, so I'm going to paint that now. Should I cheat and paint with my screwdriver? I think so. And here we go. Now I got the black spot. Painted with my screwdriver. Just like that. Now, I don't want to be playing around with that too much while the paint is drying. So let's see, once this is done, what do they want me to do next? Hey, now don't sit on your side. Go over here then if you want to be like that. Okay, so once that's on, go to the next page. The next page is putting in all those little doodads all on the top. A couple of the pieces that I painted earlier. A couple of clear pieces they want me to do, clear red and clear blue. I have the clear green in this stuff, but I don't have the clear red and clear blue in this. I have clear red and clear blue in a spray to paint tiny little spots in that color. Maybe a lot to do. Almost worth going to the store and buying them, because I guess it's just that. Yeah, so that little spot, that little guy right there, I don't even see it on the camera. If I happen to get the right angle, you might be able to see it, but there's a little thing that just kind of sticks out, and I'm supposed to paint, they want me to paint half red, half blue. So I guess when the lights are flashing, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red, and it'll on each side or whatever alternate. I don't know if that's how the lights sound, if they actually sound like, but yeah. So that's that. They want me to do that. So if I were to spray it, I gotta mask this whole thing off just to spray paint that tiny little thing. That's what I could do though. I could spray paint on here, dip my screwdriver in it, and just go on there. That might be an option. I could do that. And then we got a clear piece up top here. This little round one here. They want that clear red. So that's easy enough. And just go take that off of there and go done. The red. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll go get my clear red now. Well, clear red and the blue. So I'll be back in a minute. There we go. Clear red and my clear blue. All right, so let's move this over here. Let's start with the blue. I don't think it matters whether I do the front part of the little thing blue or the back. I think it makes any difference. I haven't even opened these yet. All right. One. And two. That's quick and easy. It's such a tiny, tiny little thing, right? It's just a tiny little dot on there. And then right beside it, it's going to be red. Blue's done. That's that. I think I might just do the same thing on here. trying to mask the thing off. There. And that's that. Again, painting with screwdriver. So all I did was just dip the screwdriver in the paint, and then this guy here, and just kind of dabbed it on there. That's perfect. And as for these two guys, they look like that now. It's kind of hard to see, but there is red and blue on there. That same little light. And those are done. Move that out of the way. Red is done. Okay. I think it's probably safe to take the tape off here now. Especially up here where I need to put the doodads. Yep. This tail fin one. Did that stay? Yes, it did. I'm half expecting it to come apart when I take the tape off. That's going to drive me crazy having that black line on there. I have to respray that. I do have a gap here. I can actually put my fingernail in and spread it apart, so I do need to re-glue that. So I'll just do that now. Since I don't have anything that I need to put back here, I can re-glue it and put the tape on again and seal it up. I have a feeling I'm going to catch that front turret on my shirt or sleeve or something and fuck it up. There we go. That'll hold it together now. Okay. So let's see what pieces I need. So I'll check something here first. All right. Oh, what was that? Okay. A couple of pieces that I painted earlier. We need C. It's basically these guys here. C33 and 32, 21 and 27. There's 33. And 32. I will pick that up in a minute. 27? Did I say 27? Well, that's B27. let's find this piece. Oh, it just stayed on my leg. Yay. And that guy. And this guy that I painted earlier. And I need these guys. Fuck off. I don't know why they wanted to go on the floor so badly. Hey, I found a missile. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit. One thing about DMC free music on YouTube seems to be the songs are so short. And of course, almost none of them have lyrics at all. So it's all like background music or, you know, just for ambience kind of thing. This guy is going to be delicate. There we go. Okay. Let's start putting these things together. So that silver oval piece goes in here. Just on the edges. Okay. Well, let's put these two halves together first. Let's get the blue ready. Sure the function of this little silver canister thing. But that's okay. All right. So two little things for it to rest on in there. Glue everywhere. No, you don't fall inside. Okay. C33 goes up here. On a slot that, oh, just barely. It goes backwards too. That's weird. These kind of things, like this, I would expect that long part to go forward, but apparently it doesn't. It goes facing backwards. That is not very flat. It's going on a flat spot. So I'll clean that up. Using a specific tiny little spot that is just barely highlighted. There, like that. And it so closely interferes with this thing, but not quite. And it's kind of on a, the way it sits, it's kind of on a slightly curved area, but the thing is flat. So I don't know how long that's going to stay up there. Meanwhile, we have this guy. This little shaft gets to go in a nice pretty hole in a non-sexual way. There we go. Just like that. Then, hey, this little silver canister goes on the back here, like that. Again, what the purpose of it is, I don't know. But that's where it goes, and that's where it goes. And then the little red light goes there. So that light. Go. One red light. It's a big red light. There we go. It's got a little red light on top. I keep hitting the turret. Paranoid I'm gonna knock it off. Okay, what else we got? We got C36 to go on the back. And it goes somewhere under the engine here. Along this line. Or is it underneath? Ah, no, it goes underneath, right there. I don't know if I want to put that on when I don't have any landing gear on this thing. Because you know I'm going to want to do this. And it's just another one of these. Right? It's another one of those. And if it's just sitting on the bottom there, it's going to be begging to be broken off. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to forget about it. So I'm going to do this. highlighter. This guy here. Highlight that. And then when I'm going back, looking through this thing to see if I've forgotten anything, that'll be highlighted and I'll be like, oh yeah, I need that piece. And it's supposed to be black. Which I don't have it in black right now. It's not been painted yet. So B21 is another piece I need. This is B21. 13, 12, 21. This looks like a little fin of some sort. Okay. Now, it is supposed to go on the front. Oh, it goes in that little hole. Doink. How's it go? It goes doink. That's how it goes. It goes doink. Muted blue. And then goes into hole. And so it's straight and not crooked is the trick. You see how it sits like that? That one there, I'll bring it down. There you go. Up there, there. That guy there. Another piece that we'll be making to be broken off. Let's just hold this thing for a minute. Okay. Done, done, done. Done, done. Waiting on that piece. That's already been put on. I'm not doing that. Alright, our wings for each side. They need to be assembled. I have two halves of them already painted. Bing and bong. And then I got these two, as you can see, they're the two different colors. As you can see, you can't really see very well. There's slight variation. Admittedly, I sometimes feel like, why am I bothering to try and show you when the camera doesn't pick it up? I don't know. These pieces don't necessarily have to clean up because they're going to be hidden later, but just to avoid any fitment issues. Speaking of fitment, the way those two halves went together is fantastic. That's like top tier quality, right? That's like epic quality. That was fantastic. In comparison to that F-14 from Revell, this was beautiful. That F-14 was just stupid. When you have to use so much tape and then you gotta fill in gaps with putty, I'm sorry, you failed at your engineering course. especially, you know, I mean, okay, so it's not like I could sculpt anything any better, so yeah, I shouldn't be judging against that, but you know, as a consumer, you're paying so much money for these things, you expect them to have a level of quality, you know, especially when there are other companies making it's the same plane, and they got it right, you know. This doesn't want to stick together, so we got to reglue that. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe just don't glue it in the right spot. So that's going to be this side, and that's the light, that's dark, so that's that side. Which means I want this one on the end, like that. Just like that. And that's one wing. It's not that far, so that's the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be. That's one. Okay, next. Put a little more glue on this one. Now that I know it's got a little bit of issue sticking together. Okay, done. Done. I gotta put these little things together here and put them on top of each one. So I can do that next once I'm confident this is gonna stay. Should be all right. Okay, I think I can get away with putting the lens on this now. A brilliant little idea of using the screwdriver to paint this. A little bit of extra paint. It's not a nice pristine line. So I'll glue the clear lens on there now. It's not this guy. prepping it because it's supposed to be round. It's got an odd shape to it, as if it's supposed to go in a certain way. It's not quite a normal rectangle there. So let's go like this. Shit. Shit. This might be a while. I think I found it. There we go. That's what, 4 things I've dropped on the floor tonight? Something like that. Now, where was I? I'm trying to figure out how this thing fits in there. So it looks like it's supposed to go a certain way. But at the same time, it doesn't look like it's fitting the way it's supposed to. Like maybe I need to trim it just slightly. Maybe. Alternatively, I could wind up just putting a big blob of clear on there and leave it. That definitely doesn't go that way. Well, that's the only way it's going to go. So that's that. So put that there. That's how it sits. Glue. Almost get away with just the glue if the glue stays super glossy. And that just ruined it. When I say ruined it, I'll show you. Underneath, putting the glue on, the glue cracked the paint, cracked the black paint. It gives a character. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. These are the guys I gotta put together now. It's about the time that I should wrap this up. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put these together. I'll put them on the wings, and then we'll call it a night. No, I'll put them together, I'll put them on the wings, I'll put the wings on, and I'll call it a night. Okay, so you go with you, right? Sure. Okay. I have to respray these because although I got the surface of them, the top side done, I don't have the edges. So that it looks really stupid. So I'm going to glue them together, and then that'll be it. Maybe I'll put this little sensor thing on the nose too before I finish up. But I'm going to have to touch these up with the paint. Before I put them on the wings. Because once they're on the wings, if I try and spray them, I've got to mask stuff off, and I don't want to have to do that. So that's the way that is. And that's the downside of painting them while they're on the sprue. Yeah, it can be a lot easier. It makes life easier to paint them while they're on there. But then situations like this arise where it's the proper color on the face, but on the edge it's not, because I forgot to do the edges on the sprue. So this one's being a pain in the ass. Stick together, jerk. There. Okay, so that's it for these guys. Again, these need to be painted again. So those need to be touched up. I'm going to put this nose thing on here now. It's going to be a bit tricky. To glue only that part. And keep it held on here. Without touching anything else. Shit. Okay. There's that. You stay. You go on. Hopefully I didn't get glue where I don't want it. Seems to be okay. I'm going to position it facing straight forward anyway. That's this part here, in case you can't see it on the camera very well. I can't really tell because I'm kind of blind. It looks like it's going to be okay. It's wiggling around on its own. So there's that. Okay, so for next time, what I need to do, I got to respray these, and then I can put them on the wings. I need to touch up these few pieces up here that are the lighter gray, but they've gone into the area where the dark gray is. So I need to touch those up. I need to touch up this black line up here because that looks stupid. So all those things are going to get done. I think my next stream I'll do Friday. I'll put up my schedule for Friday. Will be my next stream, and that will be part 3. We're coming along. It's going pretty good. Looks like we've got a touch up on here too. That's okay. It's looking pretty good. We're getting there. This is really stiff. I hope that loosens up. That's a bit. I mean, it works, but if I do that, yeah, that's okay. That's all right like that. Anyway, so I'm going to call it a day, and yeah, so we'll call that done for today, and we will continue on next time. Thank you for watching my stream. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you next time.